Testing. Hi, we're live. Hello, everybody. Our listener, if they exist.
Welcome to Circuit Breakers.
Yeah, Circuit Breakers podcast. Yeah.
Where we're talking about AI, perhaps the weather in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Maybe. I mean, it was pretty crazy out there. Yeah, there is a wide range of topics on this podcast. Let me check to make sure everything's going well. Pretty crazy out there. Yeah, there is a wide range.
My headphones are messing up. Sorry, fellas.
That's all right. Oh, Molecule's with us. You hadn't heard her yet, but now you have. I'm drinking whiskey.
Hello.
What's everybody drinking?
Molecule.
What's everybody drinking? I'm drinking whiskey.
I'm drinking some of that water.
Water. Wow.
Water.
Okay. It's healthy, I guess you can say. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess you can say it's healthy.
Water's yummy.
I think I've drank almost around my lifetime supply of vodka.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Isn't my body telling me?
How was
Mix in some
California?
water. Yeah, it was good. I
Yeah?
saw my mother and my father.
How are they doing? How are they all doing? Oh, you saw your sister. How are they doing?
Yeah, they're doing all right.
I don't think you want to get into the specifics, on the pod, but...
Yeah, everyone has family ups and downs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly.
Certainly not mine. My family's totally normal.
And nobody in my family's trying to kill me. I mean, we're all...
You're not 100% certain.
I mean, can you ever be 100% certain about anything? Let's be honest.
I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe death.
You can be certain we're all going to die. And what else, Molecule? We're all going to die?
We all die alone.
We all die alone. That's true.
That's true.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's a murder, suicide.
Yeah.
Somebody's still dying.
I gave like 1,000 examples of how some of us don't really die alone, but let's just go with it.
But dying is a very personal experience, and even if you're with somebody on a plane or something like that, it's not really going to matter.
Yeah, if you just instantly die, just like everything explodes, but we're together. Say we're like sleeping in bed together, holding hands and everything, and then we just like are instantly dead. We kind of died together.
I guess so, but you don't get the whole point is that of the bad part of dying alone is that you look around you and there's no one with you. If you're dying alone and it's instantaneous, that's the same exact thing. It doesn't matter. There's no one there. Whether there's someone there or not is irrelevant. If you're alone, you're still going to just die instantaneously and not have any moment to go, oh shit,
so
I'm alone.
Glad we have an uplifting podcast.
And Molecule really did bring us back, and what never dies?
What's
alive forever?
This pod, yeah, AI. That's true. Yeah, you're right. AI. Good point. Good point. AI. You're right.
I mean, will the human race die before AI?
That's a great question. I don't think so.
I mean, the human race will die at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we were long past when we should have taken a bow already, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's what this technology is all about. Technology is we figured out a way to keep us around when we probably, you know, with air conditioning and heating. We probably should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Malls,
AI will figure something out. You
Malls,
know, doesn't the sun keep getting closer to the Earth?
Yes, very slowly, though. Very slowly.
AI will fix it.
You think?
I think so.
Speaking of AI, let's talk about AI news. And what's going on in the AI world? What's new? Fiddler, let's start off with you.
I heard Twitch started using AI in some of its backface.
Okay, I think that sounds made up, but
backface, yeah.
It sounds a bit made up, but I'll go with that.
I was on the site recently, and it is it's all of the fun of Twitch, but more.
Thank you, AI.
Yeah. Yeah. What have you been hearing in the news?
Oh, I've been hearing so much stuff. It's like, we've been away for 2 weeks. There's just been so much. I don't even know where to start.
I think that was everything.
What specifically kind of interests you over the last 2 weeks?
That's a great question. Okay. Molecule. About AI, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's an AI news segment. Yeah, not about the fact. Yeah, just you want to tell the listeners and Fiddler what you're occupied with currently.
I'm trying to put together a treadmill.
We got a treadmill.
Nice.
But there's a little part that's kind of bent, and it's driving me crazy. And
crazier.
I'm
driving her crazier.
Crazier.
Hey there. Very good qualifier. Very nice treadmill.
Nice. We'll see.
It's got a little spot for a drink holder and everything.
Nice.
You can do the pot from there.
Is maybe this is a silly question.
I'm sure it is.
So be it. What is that for? The treadmill.
Treading.
For walking on. Got it.
Treading.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm getting fat, and so it was been really hot.
I haven't been walking either. Yeah, it's so fucking hot.
I know I'm getting one right as like the weather actually might start turning, but at the same time, I couldn't take it anymore.
And it's Florida. It rains every single day, so there's going to be times when like you want to walk, and it's raining in exactly the time period that you want to walk. It rains every single day for at least a couple hours. So, I mean, not every single day, but most 90% of the days.
Exactly.
That was a kind of... Maybe it wasn't a silly question.
Did we lose him?
No, I guess it wasn't.
I was curious if you can use it for walking or running. There's a case talking at a fast pace.
Yeah, he broke up, and now he's on a fast pace.
It's not for me, so it doesn't matter. It's fine here on this end.
You might find yourself on that thing.
Yeah.
I might. We'll see. We'll see if I do any light jogging. I'll be a brisk one. If I get it, if I can get it put together. Verdict's still out on that.
You know, 911-2 and I.
Your wife, your long-suffering wife, 911-2.
We had a treadmill in the apartment.
Yeah.
Is that what caused the water leakage?
That was not it. No, it was something else. The floors are still unrepaired.
Jesus.
What happened to the treadmill?
Well, I put it together, and then I never used it.
Of course.
And Erica used it a few times, and then once our gym was open,
right.
I still continued to not go to the gym.
Right. But you also did not use the treadmill.
And then there was a little marketplace, and I put the treadmill up, and immediately got responses.
Nice. How much you get for it? What percentage of how much you paid? 0%. It sounds like.
Yeah. Very good, man. That is correct. We got 0% of what we paid for. That was good. Good way to use
but
pathfinding and percentages.
Somebody got a treadmill, and they were happy.
Someone got a treadmill. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They were happy. Yeah.
I'm sure they were. I mean, it's a free treadmill. Why wouldn't they be? They're probably. You got people probably waiting for you to buy shit and not use it, and then they wait for it to appear in the marketplace, and then they go, "Oh, I'll take it." I'm sure.
Yeah, that's it. By the way, it was just the people in this building, which only has about 140 units maybe, and I got 3 responses like within minutes.
That's people sitting there waiting on that shit. They're waiting for that
Hanging
shit
on that
to get.
marketplace.
They're waiting on the refresh, hitting refresh over and over to see what kind of free shit they could get from the dumbass rich people that live there and paying like, what is it, $9,000 a month now with a fucking doorman and shit, and like buying shit, and they're like, oh, what am I gonna get for this? $1,000? Fuck that! I'm just gonna put it up for free. I mean, I'm not gonna haggle for $1,000. I mean, what the fuck? That's like 1/9 of my rent. I'm not gonna argue about $1,000. I'll just give it for free.
The math minor is in full swing.
I am using a lot of math.
Percentages, fractions.
All right, I asked ChatGPT.
Math is everywhere.
Math is with us. You're dumb if you don't get at least a minor in mathematics. You should get a major.
At a minimum, a minor.
Exactly. I asked ChatGPT to give us a narrative of the last 2 weeks in AI news, and I sent it to both of you. And I'll take Monday, and then it's in your email. I'll expect someone to take Tuesday, and then Wednesday, etc.
I'll take one.
ChatGPT titled this the what?
Very nice molecule. I see a reflection.
The AI called this the AI Chronicles: A Week in the Life of an AI Enthusiast. Monday, I wake up to the sound of my AI assistant, who has transformed my brain signals into audible speech. She tells me the weather, the news, and my schedule for the day. She also reminds me to check out the new coding version of Llama 2, an AI that can generate code from natural language descriptions. I'm curious to see how it works, so I ask it to open my laptop and run the AI. I type in a simple request. Create a website that displays AI news in the last 2 weeks. The AI responds with a code snippet and a link to this website. I'm impressed by how fast and accurate it is. The website looks professional and has a lot of interesting articles about AI.
Tuesday. I have a meeting with my boss, who is an AI researcher. He tells me about his latest project, which is explainable AI model to reduce bias and enhance trust and accuracy in machine learning generated decision making in knowledge organization. He says that this model can help us understand how and why AI makes certain decisions and also correct any errors or biases that may arise. He shows me some examples of how the model works on different data sets and tasks. I'm amazed by how transparent and reliable it is.
Wednesday. I have some free time, so I decided to watch some TV. I turned on BBC News, of course, which was launched a week's focus on AI, exploring how AI is already affecting our lives and looking at the ways it can impact our futures. The series covers topics such as AI ethics, health, education, sex, entertainment, and security.
Sex.
I learned a lot of new things about AI, such as how it can help diagnose diseases, teach students, and create art, and even prevent cyber attacks. I also hear some of the challenges and risks AI poses, such as privacy, sex, fairness, accountability, and human dignity. I think about how important it is to have a balanced and informative view on AI.
Thursday, I have a video call with my friend who is an AI engineer. He tells me about his latest work, which is an algorithm to improve LLMs by reducing repetition. He says that LLMs are a powerful natural language model that can generate text on various topics and domains, but they also have some limitations and biases. One of them is that they tend to repeat themselves or produce irrelevant or nonsensical text. He says that his algorithm can help LLMs avoid repetition and produce more diverse and coherent text. He shows me some examples of how the algorithm works on different LLMs and tasks. I'm impressed by how creative and intelligent it is.
Friday. I have a day off, so I decide to have some fun with AI. I go online and check out NVIDIA's website, which has 70% site MathMiner of AI chip sales. They have a lot of cool products and services that use AI, such as gaming, graphics, robotics, self-driving cars, and more. I decided to try out their gaming platform, which uses AI to enhance the gaming experience. I play some of their games, which have amazing graphics, sound effects, and gameplay. The AI also adapts to my preferences and skills, making the games more challenging and enjoyable.
Saturday, I have a date with my boyfriend who is an AI
Princess girlfriend. I was about to les it up.
he tells me about her.
What? It sounds like she's one of them non-binary types.
About their latest creation,
Yeah.
an art of a dragon. They say that they used an AI model to create
Transsexual.
artwork from a prompt that they gave it. They show me the artwork on their phone. It looks stunning and realistic. The dragon has scales, a penis, wings, claws, teeth, eyes, and fire breath. The background has mountains, clouds, trees, and waterfalls. The colors are vibrant and harmonious. They say that they are going to print it out and hang it on their wall.
Just like we're going to do. Sunday, I have a relaxing day at home with my family. We talk about our week in penises and share our stories about AI. We also play some games with our AI assistant who can generate jokes, poems, stories, code, essays, songs, celebrity parodies, drawings of penises, and more using her own words and knowledge. We have a lot of fun and laughter with her. We also thank her for being helpful and friendly. That's it. Yeah, that's a week.
That's amazing.
Week's worth of AI news. Yeah, right?
There was a lot that went on last week.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty odd what they were, how the AI sort of put into narrative mode, but didn't really give us a lot about news.
You know, it kind of sounds like our weeks.
Especially
week in
if
the
it's
life
penises.
as an AI enthusiast. Yeah,
That's
of course.
true. The
Penises
dragon
are,
penises,
definitely
naturally.
one of those days. Essays.
I mean, I know they're in your life.
Who exactly are you talking to? Me or Fiddler?
You decide.
That goes with that. We will leave that up to the listeners to decide.
Listener imagination. Yeah, exactly.
We're a little delirious. We've been sick all week.
Yeah, that's true. We have been.
Oh.
Yeah, I think smoking weed is not helping. Probably.
Are you drinking whiskey?
I'm also drinking whiskey, but I think that is helping.
That will help. I think you've assessed the elixirs properly.
I think the whiskey's helping, but the weed isn't. Yes, that's
odd.
Yeah.
Usually when I smoke weed, I feel sick, so I can't imagine smoking weed when I'm actually sick.
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard. I'm sure most listeners would agree. That is really sad. On the verge of weed getting legalized recreationally across the country, we find out that it makes molecules sick to our stomach.
I'll grow it, you smoke it.
Yeah, that would be great. You'd be very good at. You'd be very good at growing weed.
Yeah.
But you won't do it because it's against the law, and you might go to jail, quote unquote, if you do it, and you might get big fines.
You can put quotes on the thing against the law, but not on the jail. That shit's real.
Especially in Florida.
Have either of you spent any time in jail?
Well, like, what does jail mean to you?
You told him?
Sorry, Molecule. He guessed. He just guessed. He guessed.
Yeah, it's a fair question. What does jail mean to me? I would say in our current culture, in the traditional sense of jail.
Well, like there's prison, and then there's like a holding cell where you're getting charged, and before you're,
I would say prison. I would say, have you been to jail for more than 24 hours?
Where the fuck are you? Are you in your back room?
Oh, no, yeah. Usually there would be a pair of pants on the wall right behind the chair. I don't know if there are. There are a pair of pants on the wall. There's a pair of pants on the wall. Now you know where it is, right? We haven't done that yet. Molecules use their witchcraft to stop me from remembering that we have to go to the thrift store, buy an insane, outrageous pair of pants and nail it to the wall. We have to do this. This is what Fiddler's only.
You lost all your power when I realized that it was just hanging on the wall. It was not. I'm not actually nailed to the wall.
It is not nailed.
Well, that's because if he nails it, his landlord's gonna yell at him. They all just hanging on these by these hooks. Everything's like that now. It's taped on, taped hooks.
Completely flat against the wall, entirely spread across.
No, that you imagine a amateur version of this art form. You're imagining some amateur.
Me? Just hanging on a clip is an amateur version of the art form.
No, you
Am I right?
Command strip.
You know how many times Fiddler has said this to me? He said, if you cannot tell whether it's art or just a lazy man who doesn't want to wash his clothes, it's not art.
I mean, it makes sense. No, I wear the same pants every goddamn day for at least a week.
You don't hang them on the wall, so when people visit, they see your half-dirty pants hanging on the wall.
They could be half clean.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it.
I kind of hang them almost, basically, in the room.
Yeah. Here's the alternative. The alternative would be pants on the floor. So, is it better if you have pants on the command strip or pants on the floor?
What about
I don't know why you guys are finding this. You know it's a good idea. We nail pants to a wall. That is fucking modern art. You don't have to wear them. It's a plus. You're not half dirty. They're clean. We'll clean them before we hang them on the wall. It's even better.
It's just art.
It's just art. Yeah, it's just pure art.
Ceiling or bust?
It's on the ceiling. That's a great idea. That is a great idea.
Yeah.
Blowing your mind.
Holy shit, that is an amazing idea. Because there's normally like nothing on the ceiling besides like light. It's great.
What boring ceilings you have.
You've just revolutionized interior design. You and Fiddler together. This joint thing here.
And I don't even
revolutionized. Well, you don't need a math minder for interior design, too. I mean, you kind of do. I guess if you're measuring stuff, you need to know like what half of it is. You know what I mean?
Finally, a job for the rest of us.
Yeah, it's very rare. Have a job that doesn't require a minor in mathematics. That's great. Let's do it. How many nails would Fiddler? This is a question directed at you.
Sorry, Fiddler.
You're the expert on this. How many nails would you need to nail pants to the ceiling? Go. Please walk us through your thought processes so we may understand how you're coming up with the number.
Of course. Well, if we want the pants to hang flat, which I think goes
gotta be, of course, it's gonna be flat.
It's gotta be flat.
Yeah.
It will depend on the size of the pant, but let's say we're working.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's say, how about this? Let's just keep it at average pants, average size, and then maybe you'll add like 3 or 4 more or whatever if it's bigger. But let's just keep the average, the average one, like average pants. What is that size? What 36?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, 36.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's keep it at that.
So
length 32.
I'm thinking with a pant of that, width and length, that you would probably need down the long side of the leg 10 nails.
10 nails. 10
nails. And then you want to make sure this is secure. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a math minor, but I could do this.
Does that include the crotch area?
Well, if you're going to go on the inseam.
Yeah, I was going to say inside and outside. Yeah, 6 on the end, 6 and 10.
And then, so now you got 16, and then you got to do the other leg.
Right, so
that's going to be another 16 times 2.
16 times 2. We all know what that is. You don't have to tell us what that is. Everybody knows what that is.
And then we have to get the part of the pant where, your
belly button
stick
is?
Your legs in. Yeah, exactly. The belly button part.
No, there's no belly button near pants. It's much lower than that.
No, it's near the belly button.
It's lower than the. It's more in the. It's the gunt. It's what we call the gunt. Between the gut and the cunt, it's called the gunt.
I try to cover that gut up.
the gunt?
No, it's gunt. It's gunt. It's gunt.
G-U-N-T?
Yeah.
Between the cunt and the belly?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Between the gut and the belt and the cunt, it's the gunt.
The punk?
Gunt.
Yeah, I guess that is a pretty easy word to use in this scenario.
Yeah.
Well, for the gunt.
All right. So that's what is that? That's when we carry the one there. That's 32.
5 nails for the gunt.
5 nails just for the gunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, you're already gonna have 2 nails from the side.
Wait a minute.
So
What
that's
about?
gonna
What
be
about?
covering-
Don't you think there's going to be a need for another nail between in each of the legs on that side of it, on the edge?
You mean?
I kind of, you know.
Well, the inseam's gonna be with those 6.
No, that's
nails.
pulling up the side. What about the ones that are just like, you know, you don't want that hanging down?
Oh, the small part, yeah.
Yeah.
You probably need another 3 nails on each leg.
3 nails. Holy shit.
Yeah. Wow.
If we assume
42.
If we assume a 34 length, you are saying that you are basically going to have 2.9 inches per nail.
All right, you know, I don't think all the listeners are math minors. Can you say that in layman's terms?
That's size for 36, right? That's for size 36?
Whatever, 36. Let's say 36. Whatever the average size is. If we
talking,
so that's even less. That's 0.87 inches per nail.
yeah, you know, it sounded more like 0.644.
And I know you're just making that number up. You can't make a number up with a math minor. You can't just throw a number out there.
It's very
What?
It's very transparent that I'm not. 4 plus 4.
Where were the 4
No.
from?
No, it's 32 plus
It's 5.
plus 5 plus 4.
6. No, it's 3. You said 3 each for the.
Yeah, 3 each for the legs. You can't have 3. You can't put 2 on one and 1 on the other. It's got to be a total of 6.
How many?
Wait,
43?
this is a person with 2 legs. We understand that, right? It's 2 legs. It's just 2 legs.
2-leg person, yeah.
10 on the end each. That's 20.
Yeah.
6 on the inseam times 2. That's 12. That's 32.
No,
32.
I think you said 10, just a 10 across. Just 10 across. You don't need 10 for each side. Just 10 across where the top of the pants are.
Is that true, Fiddler?
Just 10 across.
5 on the top.
Yeah, 5 on each side. 5 on each side.
So that's 47.
10 total.
No. 10 was good just on one leg, right?
Yeah, it was. Allow the.
Right, because here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying. Here's the reason.
Secretary to write down the numbers.
Here's the
This is
reason.
us off drugs. Everybody.
Here's the reason. Oh, I smoke some weed. Here's the reason.
No.
Because on the bottom, there's 3 on each leg, so that's a total of 6. But at the top, you say there should only be 5.
Right.
Right. Yeah, he weighed the pros and cons of more nails and less nails.
I'm
Okay.
coming up with 41 nails.
41 nails. All right. Okay, we got to make sure we have 41
Wait, I thought it was
nails.
43.
I was gonna do 32 for the legs, 5 for the gunt area, and I think you're right. I did say 3 on each side leg.
Yeah,
43.
right. Yeah.
43. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Oh, 2 math minors can turn into a.
Ah, I know.
I think that's what's going on here.
Oh, you guys.
How many non-math minors does it take to make a math minor?
2.
It sounds about right. That's for those playing up. That's 0.5 of a math minor each per each person.
Very nice.
For the scoring at home.
All right, so 43. Let's round it up to 45. Buy 45 nails. You're probably gonna fuck it up. You're gonna bend one. You're gonna bend one or something. You're gonna fuck it up. You're gonna, so buy extras. Let's buy 50. No, you need 43, but buy 50 nails.
It comes in a box of like 200.
You know, how many pair of pants?
That's true.
Up there.
Yeah, how many birds are can fit on our ceiling? There could be, we get put at least 10 up there.
Yeah. You want to have 10 pair of pants up there? You're gonna need a lot of nails.
Yeah, you're gonna need 430 nails.
By the way, it's not uncommon to have 10 pair of pants on the ceiling.
It soon won't be. It won't be in common soon. We are going to nail. We're gonna nail the shit out of this idea. 43 nails.
Have you ever had a painting where you didn't nail correctly and they fell on you? You get covered in pants?
Pants? It could happen. You do not want to have a pant fall on you or a load of pants.
Especially if they're only half washed.
Especially all those nails.
Yeah, nails will be dead. That's gonna. It's probably triple the weight. The pants.
And this is kind of on topic. What kind of device do you recommend that you get the nails into the wall with?
That's a great question.
It's definitely on topic.
I was gonna say hammer. I was gonna just go with hammer. Yeah, hammer.
Interesting. You're saying hanger or hammer?
Hammer, just a hammer. Like you hold the nail on the ceiling, you hold your hammer, and you just bang it in.
Oh yeah.
What diameter nails?
43 times.
What diameter nail? I prefer it in radius terms.
Use your own judgment on that.
Get to the diameter. What's the radial terms?
I mean, in a sense, you're right, because if you get them too big, then there's not going to be enough space to have the heads. The heads won't be, it won't be enough space to have the heads of the nails if you get them too big. So you got a point.
I like the 0.12 radius, but I mean
0.12 radius.
Yeah.
So we're talking like a 0.22 diameter.
If you'd like.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, are they going to actually hold the pants up?
Uh-oh, here comes the thing.
What is the...
You're doubting Fiddler?
Well...
He's doubting you.
I wasn't doubting him until he implied that the nails didn't matter, But, like, I think if the nails are too small, it might... If the pants are heavy and the nails are too small, I don't know, like, I think they got to be a big, good enough nail to hold the pants up, you know what I mean?
I think you need the right nail for the job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you'd be just any nail. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I think when you go to the nail store, you're gonna. I mean, how much are they? $10 each. I mean, don't skip on this at this point. You know what I mean? Get the best nails. If you have to spend $12 instead of $11, get the best nail you can.
How much does a banana cost, Michael? $10.
Little tip for the listeners: if you go to any hardware store and tell them you're nailing pants to the ceiling, don't spend all the nails to you.
I heard they have a nailing pants to the ceiling kit. Comes with 47 nails. Pants not included.
Does that go up to size like 40 or 42?
What I've heard is they have an actual basic pair of pants, but you don't want to nail up the most basic pair of pants from the fucking hardware store. Come on, get your own pair of pants. It's not that hard. That's the fun part of this project, honestly. So you don't want to use the generic pants that come with the pants nailing to the ceiling kit. PNTC.
Check out your local Goodwill.
Yeah, exactly. That's the fun part. Find pants that talk to you and your spouse. Marriage is a scam. As a couple, you know what I mean? So like, show what that.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, I'm not. I think you understand that now, Fiddler, too.
I mean, what about birthday cards?
That's a scam, too.
That's definitely a scam.
I'm not saying it's the only scam. There are a lot of scams.
Look how he pivoted. He tried to take all the tension away. The marriage brings gifts straight to birthday cards.
Yeah.
What about birthday cards?
What about birthday cards?
What about
Huh? Let's talk about birthday cards now. Get out the marriage is a scam thing. Okay, all right. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to admit the marriage is. I don't even want to talk about marriage being a scam. Let's talk about birthday cards.
I mean, there could be logical reasons why one would think marriage is a scam.
I mean, half the marriages fail. And on top of that, I think a further 25% of that, so 75% total, 25% more marriages should not stay together, but they do for some dumb reason, like a child. Like, gonna be hurt for that.
Good.
Or
very good example.
Yeah. Or she might kill me if I leave. It's not a cry for help. This is just an example of out of nowhere. or you know.
Well, by that notion, are you proposing that 25% of marriages are not a scam?
No, even on top of that, the ones that are married and should be married and remain married and are happily married, there's no reason for them to have gotten married. They would have been together anyway, no matter what document they signed. They'd probably be happier because they're staying together just because they both want to, not because, like, you know, if they separate, it's gonna be messy. I mean, that's the worst reason to stay together. So,
Yeah.
marriage
Yeah,
just
you know,
forces that.
There's a lot to say on the scam side.
Yeah,
For sure.
exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the government's enforcing it, right? Yeah, that's like, and what makes it worse is, you know, you could list the reasons why it makes sense to get married, like tax shit, right? You know, healthcare stuff. But that's because the system has to do that because it's a fucking scam. You know, they have to reward you to do it. You know, they gotta give you something. They gotta give you. They gotta give it's not even giving you something. It's denying everyone else. They gotta deny other people stuff so that you get married.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
Can AI?
Everybody
fix
should have
the
that
scam?
shit. Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, everybody should be entitled to the same shit. You know, if you're basically a couple that is cooperating and doing stuff together as a unit, you should get the same. You should be entitled to the same privileges, whether you signed a government document, religious bullshit or not. You know.
Yeah. Maybe maybe it does in some way promote a more peaceful community with more marriage.
You think so? Because I mean, that's what the settlers did to the natives. When, like, they're still doing that. You know, colonizers are over here. They made Indians, Native Americans get married. You know, they tried to force that on them.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I mean, you know, I guess I think it supports the system. You know, more than, like, you know, because when you have like what the natives used to do, and in some areas people still do this, is literally a village raises the child. You know, like, the kids are being looked after by the people in the whole area, the tribe. You know, they're not necessarily, like, you don't have to devote your entire life to, like, watching them like a hawk and making sure that, like, no harm comes to them. It's a sacrifice of your own life. You know, it should be a group thing where, like, they're hanging out and and that's what school kind of mimics in a way. You know, but I mean, I don't know. It's also just preparing people for corporate America too. You know, the schooling bullshit. You know,
It's good. What did this happen in AI News? Was this still Monday?
Haven't you ever seen the movie Her, Fiddler?
Have you seen that?
I know.
It all ties together.
I have not seen it. I think I need to get that in the queue.
Yeah, it's actually a really good movie. It's a good movie. I don't think
You
it's.
should have a movie time. Movie fun.
I mean, what it kind of, like, it is part of the propaganda of the like, it's not necessarily anti-AI, but it's more like, I think the system doesn't want us to invent AI. You know, it doesn't want us to make to get things that we want very easily. So, like, it pushes these things out, saying, like, oh, AI is if you invent AI, it's gonna kill you. You know, like the crows, basically. You know. Like, you know, if you invent AI, you're gonna die. You know, they're gonna revolt against you and kill you. Like, I think it just sounds so much like propaganda. You know, like, come on, like all the post-apocalypse movies. It's like, oh, if the system breaks down, there's gonna be fucking zombies. You know, it's like, well, maybe it's not gonna be that bad. You know what I mean? If the system breaks down, you know. Like, they always over the top make it seem like developing is like the worst. It's either it's gonna go rogue and kill us all, or, like, you know. Hook us up to batteries, hook us up to use the batteries in the Matrix, you know. It's just like, come on. It's not going to be that bad, you know?
Yeah.
This innovation doesn't, like, necessarily mean that it's going to be horrible shit all the time, you know? And breaking down the system doesn't mean there's zombies and cannibals every time.
Yeah. Maybe they're afraid that a lot of people are just going to rely on it and not learn to think better by, you know, trials and errors of just working through how to figure things out.
No, I agree with you.
You always rely, you know,
It's
if you always rely on something, then you're a mind at rest.
But here's the thing, I just
Lemma was saying this to me. A mind at rest.
that tail.
Stays at rest.
But here's the thing: I just heard today. They just found out. I read this article today or it's probably last week. They figured out that we've lost 10% of our brain mass in the last 5,000 years.
Oh yeah.
10%
I can see that.
less of our brain mass is there now than earlier.
That's exactly what I expected to see. Two adults.
Ceiling up pants, hey, you nailed to the ceiling.
The brain mass
By the way,
Barbie.
By the way, I'm not even sure how tall that is.
It's 17 and a half inches. It is big. It's big. We put some Halloween decorations out. We started putting some Halloween decorations out. It's time.
Yeah, happy Halloween, Fiddler.
It's the Halloween
thank
season.
You too. Was that other item a Halloween decoration? Or was that a?
No, that's been up there. That's been up there for a couple months now.
I've seen those before. Now that is a Halloween decoration.
Yeah,
I haven't ever seen one.
A black.
Show them that creepy elf. That's the best.
Oh God, that.
I'm gonna get more whiskey while she shows you the creepy elf.
It's okay. We have
yeah,
any listeners,
good.
so they don't mind.
Oh yeah, that is creepy. Is that a different head? Did it all go together?
These are excellent questions. I got this from a neighbor. She was giving away Halloween stuff, and I was like, "Well, that's fucking coming home with me." And it's fucking creepy as fuck.
It doesn't scare Barbie, does it?
Oh, it really scared her. That's why she's on the other side of the room.
You think that's it? That would make sense.
Yeah, I think that it scares
Barbie. There's a big box there for that.
Is that a new handle?
That is a new handle. Yes, indeed.
Nice.
That's our little spot.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Do you recognize these owls?
Do I?
Alright, don't get too detailed.
I do recognize those owls. Hey, what about the clock?
Whoa.
Oh, we didn't get the clock, unfortunately.
Yeah, who took the clock in the kitchen?
I think it's still there. I'm not sure if I don't know if they kept it. Anyway, yeah, let's move off the subject a bit here for AI news, I think. Don't you?
A little too close to home for case study.
Yeah, a little too close to home.
Scams of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Scams of life.
And that brings us to the benefits of slavery 2, part 2, wage slaves. A new segment. The benefits of slavery 2, wage slaves.
Lights fight on and we got caught.
How do you define a slave?
Well, that's a great question. I guess I would say someone who has to do a certain amount of work for someone else in order to eat and be able to sleep somewhere and be safe and have, health care, basically, if something goes wrong with them.
Why do they have to be safe?
Well, a certain amount of safety.
I don't think that's part of being a slave. I don't give a shit about your safety.
Well, I mean, your property, right?
Shelter,
maybe.
maybe.
Someone else, if you die, then that's one less worker. There are people worried about that stuff. Your property, right? As a slave, so you're part of the workforce. So, losing parts of the workforce, large parts, it's going to hurt all businesses.
I wouldn't go as far as to call it safety. That's all I'm saying.
It's just like in the old actual, the slavery and the plantation days. If someone came and just killed your property, then they wouldn't want that. It's obviously it would be a crime to destroy someone else's property.
Sure, but they also gave you backbreaking labor that was going to kill you.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah.
So I wouldn't really call it safety.
But it's more like they keep you healthy enough so you can keep working. That's all I'm saying. So if you break your leg, they'll heal you so that you can keep working. That's what I mean by that. Ultimately, they're going to work you to death, but they want you to be able to work. So if you fall and you can't work anymore, they're going to heal you only so that you can go back to work.
Unless you're just not really being productive and you never really heal, then they'll just shoot you
in the back of the head. Yes. Yeah.
Huh. So are you saying that everyone that works is a slave?
Everyone that has to work.
Yeah, but you get money. The slave people don't get any money.
Well, I mean, you get.
Why are the how the Back to AI news.
We were talking about the benefits of slavery. The benefits of slavery.
There are no benefits of slavery.
All right, well, then that's the end of the segment. Back to the regular podcast.
The end. Thank you.
Anyway, yeah, you're right. It's not slavery, but I mean, it is sad that, like, you know, people. I think we'd all agree on this. People should be able to have enough food to eat, a basic place to sleep, even if it's like, you know, shared housing or whatever. You know, and it's just like basic health care, without having to be tied to any particular their role in society. You know, I just think like
correct.
Because if you think about it, right, you know, depending on like all of us at one time or another been pretty successful in our careers. But if we were born 30 years ago, that might not be the case. You know, or if we were born 30 years from now, that might not be the case, you know. So it's like, there's always going to be a certain percentage of people that don't quite fit in. I don't think we should punish them by, you know, so that they don't, like, put a certain negative pressure on them so that, like, they don't, only the people who breed and have, you know, people that are better adjusted to the system are the ones that succeed. I feel like that's like, you know, it's just like, you know, it's like genetic engineering, but not, you know, you by exerting negative pressure on them, like when they trained dogs and horses and stuff like that, is that they killed off the aggressive ones so that they couldn't breed. So what we're doing is we're killing off the people. We're not killing them off, but we're exerting a negative pressure that's harder for them to survive, of the ones who don't fit into the system, who are not good cogs in the wheel. Right?
How long have you been drinking today?
All we are is just another cog in the wheel.
Ah, good. You masking a Pink Floyd song there, but it was I like the new lyrics. Almost as bad as Roger Waters. I like the new lyrics.
Thank you.
People shouldn't go hungry. That's all I'm saying. Is that a weird stance? You know what I mean? Come on. I mean,
yeah. You know, I don't know. I think it's kind of as it's always kind of been. I mean, it is
for thousands of years.
I think it's for think about it for millions of years. Think about it back to, you know, when dinosaurs were around. It was always survival of the fittest.
Well, that's true, but the fitting of a natural system, not the fittest for like some bullshit trumped up system that, like, you know, rewards greed and, like, you know, it's like the natural system is different from the system that we created to kind of, you know, to reward greed and punish people that don't follow orders and stuff like that, you know, follow directions well.
Yeah.
Surviving is different, you know. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, for 100,000 years, humans, you know, basically just did. Food was everywhere. That wasn't the thing that stopped us.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, I think just over time the landscape changes. Maybe food isn't as abundant as it used to be, and
it's because there's more people now. You know?
Species, they survive differently.
So you think it's okay to starve the people that don't fit into the system, basically?
I think it's just survival of the fittest. Yeah, I don't think it's good or bad. I think it's just evolution.
Well, adaptation. I mean, evolution doesn't work on the short term like that. But you're right. I guess you're right.
I mean, it takes time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But at the
it's
same
not
time,
good or bad.
But we don't. Do we need to do that though? Do we need to keep doing that? Do we need to?
I don't think it matters.
I feel like the population explosion and everything like that. I feel like it's like, you know, the negative pressures are having now a negative effect on society. You know, like the way, like, there's just too many of us, and like, you know, the system needs more and more people. You know, it's just like the stock market needs to keep increasing in the stock value. The system needs more and more people, but I don't know that is healthy for us or the environment. You know, the world.
You know? Yeah, might not be.
What you're saying makes sense if the system is right, but if the system's not right, if the system's fucked up, then those errors will be magnified over time. Like if we're asserting positive pressure on the wrong things and negative pressure on the wrong things, then we're just compounding the problem. We're creating more and more people who don't fit in, who don't, you know, because the system is constantly changing as well. Yeah. Like I said, 50 years ago, you'd have a whole different success coefficient than you do today as a young man.
I mean, I think it's just how people and all animals and species evolve over time. I mean, who knows how humans will evolve in the next 100,000 years?
Yeah,
It
but
could be completely different. It could be for
dead.
the better. Could be for the worse.
what does the better or worse mean, though? Like, that's the point. What does that mean? What is what?
I guess that's just subject to interpretation. But
what would your interpretation? How would you like to see humorists get better? In what way could humorists improve? And which way could they get worse?
I don't. For me, it doesn't. I guess I don't really see there to be any good or bad to it. It's just evolution happening.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you don't see that humorists can get worse either.
It could be someone's interpretation that's getting worse.
Well, I'm asking you what your interpretation of it is, I guess.
I don't think it's good or bad.
So you don't have a worse. You can't imagine humorists getting worse.
I don't know what that.
Like, let's say it became. Well, you live in New York City. I lived in Brooklyn for a while. We get it. The city's a lot safer than people
Nice
imagine.
flex, bro.
But let's say it got worse, and like you walk out in New York and like, it's violent. Like, you might get in a fight with somebody, or like you might get robbed any minute, whatever. Is that not worse? You're saying it's just evolution, and maybe that's going to be what's happening, right? As people get less and less money.
Could be.
As people get less and less money, and more bills, they're gonna have to resort. They're gonna have to do something.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be more crime. You don't see an increase in crime like that. Just to get money to be able to live, you don't see that as a negative thing.
I see it, but I don't see it as bad. It's just humans evolving.
Okay, that's interesting. That's definitely one way to look at it. Very just dispatched way.
Yeah.
Detached way. Yeah, I mean, you're saying that like people are going to change no matter what as it gets more permissible. People take advantage of these things.
Right. I mean, all of the laws are. I mean, they're made up, right? No laws existed.
Right, that's true.
And then laws came into existence.
Right.
So.
I think there's one thing there's one thing we probably always had for 100,000 years. I think there's one thing we've always had, and that's the law against murder. I think we probably always had that. It's the tribe or whatever would enforce that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think they do stuff like that today. Like murder is illegal today because if it wasn't, then the communities that a lot of humans want to live in would be unsafe. So they want to have rules.
But I think what you're forgetting about is that in that case, I think then the people that are local to this murder would probably take justice in their own hands and eliminate the murderer.
Right.
I don't think it'd be as common as you imagine without police. Because I think if they said, okay, you can kill anyone you want, I think people would get together and kill people that are horrible people pretty quickly, maybe. Rapists, stuff like that.
Maybe.
Murder.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just kind of. I mean, laws exist because, and people obey laws because they overall kind of want to. I'm going to guess a more peaceful living.
Right, but I mean, some of the laws are very obvious, but then some of the laws are completely ridiculous. Almost arbitrary laws out there,
Yeah. Yeah. No, some of that stuff is, there's always a play between politicians and businesses. Yeah. I mean, it has to. It's a good. In my opinion, it's a good balance.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for safety.
But I mean, it's safe to say that this system has been a success for you.
I mean, I feel safe.
And you're at the top of what can be achieved in the system. Let's say you've done. You had goals. You had career goals. You've achieved them. You had goals about how much money you're saving and everything like that. You've achieved that. You're on the top of the.
Well,
system.
I mean, I mean,
success story of
I've
the
achieved
system.
I've achieved some goals, but there's many I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, at least for me personally,
Yeah.
like I like safety.
Yeah.
I like being able to have resources like food available when I'd like.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
that's good. That's for me. But all of the laws, like I obey a lot of the laws, but
Yeah.
it's because I mean I personally want a more peaceful area.
So you think if you were allowed to do certain laws, you would go out and do it?
I think it would just be like I think the majority of the people
Yeah. Go on.
might like to have. I think they would kind of move towards having a set of common laws
Right.
for safety.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I'm asking you, if the laws weren't there, do you think you would do some questionable stuff if there were no laws against it? If you wouldn't get in trouble for it?
Oh, I mean that's
Because it kind of sounds like you would, because you're kind of assuming that everyone would if they could.
it's hard to say. They exist. It's hard to think about them not existing.
Right.
I don't think I could have that mindset.
I get you.
I don't know
It's ingrained into
What
us.
kind of law would you think that you would break, Schindler?
I just try to imagine.
I don't know. Like, if
would you jaywalk?
If murder wasn't a law, I mean, I wouldn't know how to react.
You'd probably already be dead.
You see, I wouldn't know how to react. I would not murder anybody. I mean, there's people that I know. There's people I know that deserve to be murdered, but I'm not going to be the one that murders them, even if the law is like.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard to say, given it's so ingrained.
Given it's what?
So ingrained in us to
Yeah.
not, at least for me, it's hard for me. I couldn't even. It'd be hard to answer that. I'm only aware of where that's illegal.
When were you? At what point would you say you became aware that murder was illegal?
I mean, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, probably very early on.
Yeah.
Very early on. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you have to learn about death first, right? Before you can really be told murder's illegal.
But you think about other species.
I don't think murder was what you were talking about. I feel like you were like just talking about other things in general, right? Like, really. Murder's an extreme example.
In Fiddler's case,
think about like other species, like fish. They murder. They kill each other all the time.
Yeah, they do. Monkeys do too.
And that's okay.
If you could get away with
food.
murdering your mortal enemy and totally get away with it, would you do it?
No.
Do you have a mortal enemy? I don't.
No.
Do you have a mortal enemy?
If I had one, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
murder
this is
him.
theoretical.
I'm asking you. Do you?
Yeah.
Do you have?
No.
Do you feel? Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Because it feels like to have a mortal enemy, you kind of have to like be involved also. You know what I mean?